And here we are. Before we get started too far, I will give you a quick rundown of what you are looking at on screen. First, our actual screen, where we can see the world around us and ourselves. More importantly, however, let's move down a bit to this giant text block here. We can make it very large or very small. I'll keep it at around 4 lines of text, and this will tell us everything about what's going on around us. Who is joining the server, what our check penalty is, how combat's happening around us, who's casting what, who said who to what. This is a generally useful thing to have open in my opinion, so I'm going to keep it open. Down here we have our quick bar. We have 12 slots which correspond to the F1 through F12 keys. Holding down shift brings up an extra bar, and control for an extra bar, bringing you to 36. To the right of this we have our compass. Mousing over it as such, we see our month, our day, and our hour. And of course, the compass moves as our camera moves, showing us our direction we are facing. Let's cover spells. Here's our spellbook button. Here is how spells work for our sorcerer character. Forget, for now, the actual names of our spells and think of this as categories. We have level 0 spells and level 1 spells. We can cast 4 level 1 spells per rest, which means we can cast Charm Person 4 times, or Scare 4 times, or 2 and 2, or 3 Scares and 1 Charm, however you want to mix it up. Likewise, we could cast 5 level 0 spells, which means 2 Flares, a Daze, and 2 Resistances, however you want to play it. So that's worth keeping in mind. There's a bit of a spell management system. And speaking of resting, we'll rest actually right now. Resting restores your hit points over time as this bar fills up, and once it reaches full, you regain all of your spells and special abilities back. It's worth noting that you cannot rest when enemies are nearby. So, what's these squiggly lines here? They are the options menu. Here you can save your character to export into other games. Game options, video controls, everything else. I can actually change my camera controls to say top down. There we go. Zoom in though, but there we go. And as you saw, it actually paused the game, and when you pause, this thing comes up. Our portrait turns into this really magnificently beautiful hourglass. And that lets you know the game is paused. Then we have our journal, which is this ink quill, I think that's the icon. And we have our quests, our completed quests, and our notes, which we can access ourselves. What do we have for our quest here? It is the 2nd day of the 6th month, 1372. You have trained long at the academy, and today is your final day. To begin your adventures in Neverwinter, speak with each of the instructors in the complex. All will be able to give you tutorial information about basic skills. You will need to complete one last lesson depending on whether your main focus is combat, rogue skills, divine magic, or arcane sorcery. Bards will be able to complete any one of these tests, while most other classes must report to their experts in their chosen field. Well, there you go. Above this we have our map compass. We can zoom it in really tiny or really close. We can also add our own map notes and say, Senior Barracks. And now if I mouse over it, Senior Barracks. I'll delete this for now though. And I'll close this out right. And we have Inventory, which is most likely the window you'll be using the most if you play yourself. Here you can equip everything from a belt, some rings, cloak, weapon, and armor. As you see here we have our woodsman's outfit, and below it you see this shield icon and it says AC 10. Combat I will be going over later on. Needless to say, we are squishy and we are vulnerable. We are wearing clothes, not armor. And we also have a starter sorcerer's robe. I'm not a fan of the blue, but it is more fitting than the previous robe, so I will certainly wear it. And we can also interact with items around us here, like this chest. I can click on it and open it up. There's a club inside, but I won't be using that. I'll instead put this woodsman outfit in there. So, what's in our inventory? Well, Since we've covered magic, let's cover these scrolls. Scrolls are one-time castable spells. Once you use a scroll to cast said spell, the scroll will break. So if I cast a magic missile on something, the scroll would poof away. It would no longer exist. But scrolls do not use up spell slots, which is where their value comes into play. If you only have 5 spell slots but 100 scrolls, you can use all 100 scrolls. It may be expensive monetarily, but in terms of spell power, you do not use up your spell slots for casting a scroll. And that's where their true power and value comes into play. You also have potions. I can click and drag these around to stack them to save inventory space. Potion of Cure Light Wounds. Used as often in the peasant's home as the dungeon's dark. These simple concoctions are common throughout Faerun. Then we have a torch here, which is worth keeping for a light source. Although we can see in total darkness, it's nice to have out of their way for a light, or a fire source rather. We have our crossbow. I will also go into weapons later on when we go into combat. I believe that is it, but not quite. We have our character sheet, which you can access by either this character sheet bust or the actual icon itself. This will tell us everything about our character. Armor class, hit points, spell resist, check penalty, experience, alignment, stats, race, sorcerer class, all our skills, all our feats. It's all a little overwhelming if you're not sure what you're looking for. A lot of it is not applicable to most things we're doing right now, so I'm not going to worry about it right now. I'll worry about it when it comes up into gameplay. Now, for our in-character. We've been at the Academy for roughly a week. We have started to learn and hone our arcane sorcery skills with our magnificent dwarven beard. And now we are approaching our final test, as the quest would suggest. So we'll head out and we'll see. Who is this? You weren't here yesterday, were you? I don't believe so.
Finally, you're up. I was afraid you were going to sleep all day. I guess the instructors work you pretty hard here at the Academy.
Indeed they do, sir. But who are you? I haven't seen you before.
My name's Pavel. I'm one of the new recruits. I just arrived here at the Academy this morning.
He follows up with, "You're Krael Ironpike, aren't you?" "Indeed, sir, I am Krael Ironpike." "Is it true what they say about you? That Lady Erebeth herself ordered the Academy to send you an invitation to come here for training." "No, those are just silly rumors perpetrated by fellow classmates. I've never heard of anyone being invited to train at the Academy before, so makes sense. Usually people are begging to get in. Must be a great honor for you." It's both honor and privilege to serve the city of Neverwinter." "You're pretty modest for someone who's got such high expectations on him. It wasn't quite so easy for me to get into the Academy. My brother Bim and I were working on the nearby farms outside the city when we heard Lady Erebeth had put out a call for heroes to come to the aid of Neverwinter. We knew the city was suffering, but we didn't realize how bad things were until we got here. We arrived just before they sealed the gates and quarantined the city. Thank the gods I got accepted into the Academy. I wouldn't want to be out there on the streets with the plague, not with the city guard barely able to keep order anymore." "You know, I don't actually know much about this plague. Could you fill me in?" "The Wailing Death is a plague worse than any in the recorded entire history of Neverwinter. The whole city has been quarantined. Nobody is allowed in or out. The Neverwinter militia do their best to enforce quarantine, but people do not like being trapped inside the walls of a plague-infested city." Understandable. "Every day, more bodies pile up in the streets, and citizens move one step closer to open panic and rebellion. Can't say I blame them. It's only been a few months, and already the dead number in the thousands." "Can't the clerics or priests of Divine do anything to help?" "Well, most people have given up a hope of finding a cure for the Wailing Death. Potions and medicinal herbs do nothing, and even the prayers of the city's most powerful clergy have been ineffective. I guess that's why Lady Erebeth ordered the Academy to open its doors to new recruits. The city needs a hero. Someone who can save us all from the Wailing Death." "The word on the street is that Erebeth is actually working on a cure right now here in the Academy. But that's just a rumor. Probably not even true." "Really? Well, what do you know about this rumor?" "I only know what people are saying on the street. Some claim Erebeth has a cure and she's going to start passing it out soon. Others claim she's keeping it for herself." "No, it's not like her, I think." But like I said, it's just rumors. Maybe some of the people who've been here at the Academy longer than I know more about a cure, if there even is one. Well, anything else you can tell me? Well, you could speak to my brother Bim over by the door if you want some tips on venturing. Otherwise, you should go see Olger in the next room. He's one in charge of equipping us recruits for our training. Other than that, I don't know what more there is to tell you. I'm just a raw recruit here. You're the one who's almost finished training. Fair point then. Very well, I will speak to your brother. Yes, I suppose you need to get on with your training. You probably need to go speak to Olger in the next room as well. If you need any other tips or instructions on venturing, then don't forget to say hi to my brother Bim on the way out. Alright. Must be you then.
I saw you talking to my brother Pavel. My name is Bim. If you want, I can give you a short tutorial on adventuring.
Thank you, sir, but I am not interested. Suit yourself. You should go through this door and speak to Olger then. He'll set you up with the equipment you need to finish your training here at the Academy. Alright. And I will assume this is you.
Hello there. Come to get yourself some supplies from old Olga, have you? Good idea. Can't have you wandering about the streets naked. Might give the Academy a bad name.
You're right about that one. The city guard are already having enough trouble maintaining control as it is. Plague bodies piled a dozen deep in the gutters, the wailing death running unchecked through the districts. Horrible, I say. But you've heard all this before, I'm sure. Oh, here. I've got some equipment for you. A sorcerer like you might find it come handy in completing your training. Now, if you're ready, I'll give you a tutorial on how to access your inventory so you can use that equipment I just gave you. I already know how to work my inventory, but thank you. Well, then I guess we don't need to go over it, do we?
Oh, this might be a good time to teach you how to use the stores in the game. I have some items here you might want to purchase. Since you're part of the Academy, you get a special discount rate.
Oh, really? That'd be quite magnificent. Are you interested in seeing my store? I'll give you a quick tutorial on how they work, too. Thank you, but I already know how to use stores in the game. Alright. I'm not one to go prattling on when the listener knows what I'm saying. So, do you want to see my inventory now? Yes, please. Great! I'm sure you'll find my prices most reasonable. When we're done, you'll find the door leading out of this room is unlocked. Alright. Oh, Mark's interaction is unfavorable. That's unfortunate. I have this rather magnificent robe of fire resistance. Alright. Thank you for the gift there. Any weapons I'm interested in? Well, none that I can really use. I can only use simple weapons. It doesn't leave me with too many options. Yeah. Not many options here. A dagger is a simple weapon, though. But no, it doesn't have very much kick. I think I'd want a mace instead. Yeah. Better than a club and a dagger, I feel, but not quite as heavy. There we go. So now how does this look if I equip it? Nice. That's a mace for you. Well, I'll explain that as we go along. But for now, let's go back into our room and change. We've just got a new robe after all. So, what do these robes do for us as well, since we're here? Robes of fire resistance. Protective garments, such as this one, are usually made by a wizard to protect a clumsy assistant. It provides no actual armor for us, but it gives us 15 fire resistance. Which means if we're hit by a fireball for, say, 20 damage, we'll only take 5, because we resist the other 15. Quite powerful, honestly. And I'll put this robe in the chest. There we go. Now that I've gone over spells, I'm going to clear out my quick bar because I want to customize it. If I can ever get my mouse to work properly. Oh, come now. Don't do this to me. And done. I would very much enjoy having crossbow, mace, and over here, my summon familiar. Let's say I had a fog, shall we? There we go. A little pixie friend who will help me for scouting and all kinds of rogue skills. Hard to get a good look at her because it's very low resolution and a really tiny character, but well, there's my pixie, making little sparkly twinkly noises. With me, Fog? There she is. So, Ogre, how you doing?
Welcome back. So, what can old Ogre do for you? You want to take a peek inside my shop? Or is there something else?
I just wanted to talk to you about the plague a little bit. I'll do my best to answer your questions, though I don't know much. I haven't left the academy since the plague hit. Well, what can you tell me about the plague? A foul business, the wailing death. The bodies just keep piling up in the streets. And healers, clerics, and priests are powerless to help. That's mighty suspicious if you ask me. This ain't no natural plague, mark my words. The instructors here at the academy don't like to talk about it, but I think someone or something brought the wailing death upon us for some fell purpose. I guess the authorities don't want to speculate about that, though. There's enough panic in the streets as it is. Or maybe they're just focusing on the cure before they start worrying about what's behind this. And, have you heard the rumors about a cure? All I know is that there's a rumor going around the barracks. They say Kelvin Blackstaff Arunson, the famous mage, has discovered that a cure can be made using reagents gathered from rare and exotic beasts. Supposedly, these creatures have been brought from Waterdeep to the academy for safekeeping. I don't know if that's true, but why else would Lady Arabeth would be here? Well, fair reasoning, Olger, but, what do you know of Lady Arabeth? Surely you've heard of Lady Arabeth de Tilmarand, the elven paladin of Tyr. Nasha Alaganda, Lord of Neverwinter, has appointed her to find a cure for the wailing death. Officially, she is here at the academy to inspire and motivate the new recruits with the blessings of Tyr. But the whispered word is that she's also here to keep an eye on those Waterdavian creatures they hope to turn into a cure. Wow, that must be a great honor. I'd love to meet her. So would I. Her beauty is only surpassed by her ability to, and her devotion to Tyr, or so they say. She's young, but she's already a legend here in Neverwinter. Maybe when my shift is done, I'll get a chance to see her. She's giving out blessings in the South Assembly Chamber. It's just through these doors and down the hall. Is there something else you wanted to ask me? No, thank you, good Olger. You've been quite helpful. As long as you're here at the academy, feel free to come back and speak to me anytime you need to purchase some equipment. That's a really hard voice to do, you'd be surprised. So, through this, here we have a bit of a library. Let's peruse the books for a moment before we speak to this woman. And, Fog, you're noisy. The sparkly nose is getting a little annoying. Some books, huh? Well, I won't take them, but we'll read them. The Ghosts of Conbury.
Come over here if you want to learn about your mapping journal.
Well, I don't want to, but I think you'll interrupt me if I don't talk to you.
Hey there! You're one of the students here at the academy, aren't you?
Krael, unless I'm mistaken. I'm Berna, an instructor here at the Academy. If you like, I can give you a quick tutorial on how to use your map and journal. Thank you, milady Berna, but I am not interested at the moment. Well, if you change your mind, I'll be right here to help you out. Is there anything else I can do for you? No, I just wish to read. Goodbye, then. Alright. Hopefully she won't interrupt me anymore. The Ghost of Conniebury. I'm gonna say Conniebury. This haunted grove is the chief landmark in Conniebury area. The ghosts of Neverwinter Wood is actually a banshee, known as Agatha. This name is almost certainly a corruption of the elven surname Aglathla? That's weird. Which means winter breeze in one of the older elven dialects. She lairs in a grove in Neverwinter Wood, northwest of Conniebury. Her haunt is at the end of the patch, whose entrance is marked by a strand of birch trees. At one time, Agatha's lair was guarded by a magic mirror spell. This was set up to hide her real location, and give her time to hurl spells at intruders. The heroes Driz Duerden and Wulfgar, son of Bjornegar, shattered these defenses. The two adventurers then stole her treasure. The banshee had amassed her treasure hoard by thieving in it in the night, slaying travelers and pillaging old tombs and ruins. Since her wealth was stolen, she has taken to looting and looting the Desarin again, which I believe is the nearby river, trying to rebuild her riches. She also seeks revenge for the theft, and so considers any adventurers fitting recipients for death. Agatha's lair has new defenses now. Her spells enable her to charm the people of Conniebury into digging pitfall traps along the path to her lair. These servants have also been guarding her haunt. Other than this, Agatha does not bother the folk of Conniebury. Rather, she views them as allies. Agatha often uses her spells to bring them beasts for food in the worst winter weather. She also slaughters orcs and brigands who venture too near the village. Folk in Conniebury regard Agatha almost affectionately as their guardian and friend. They often talk about her and speculate on what she's up to. And that's the story of the Ghost of Conniebury. What do we have here? The Northern Four Adventuring Troop. The Northern Four is the name of a band of adventurers that have each gone on to become key citizens of the Sword Coast, led by Lord Nasher Alagandar, who thus became Lord Neverwinter. Wow. The group also consisted of Dermal Erard, who went on to found and watch over Helm's Hold, Ophala Cheldarstorm, matron of the Moonstone Mask, who was thought to be an important figure among the mages of the Many-Starred Cloak, and Kurth, who has become a high captain in Luskin. Wow. The band adventured together successfully for many years, and spawned many tales in their adventures around the region. One popular tale depicts the successful rescue of the Black Raven tribe from a foul white dragon. As a symbol of gratitude from the tribe, Nasher was gifted with a noted Neverwintian Morrigan's as a debt child. I have no clue what that is, but okay. The success of the troop eventually came to an end with a leadership struggle between Nasher and Kurth. Ophala was torn between her love for Kurth and her loyalty to Nasher, but after Kurth left, Ophala settled at Neverwinter, unwilling to compromise her hatred for Luskin and Arcane Brotherhood. Many assume that she still bears resentment against Nasher for the way things turned out. Regardless, Nasher and Erard have remained close, and Ophala still serves her lord loyally. The same cannot be said of Kurth, who has joined forces with an army that would love nothing more than to see Neverwinter destroyed. And that was the Northern 4 adventuring troop. Any other books we have? Indeed so, we have a book pile here. What do we got? A single book. The War of Light and Darkness. Lord Ao created the universe that now holds the world of Toril. After this creation, there was a period of timeless nothingness, a misty realm of shadows that existed before light and darkness were separated. Eventually, this shadowy essence coalesced to form twin beautiful goddesses, polar opposites of each other, one dark, one light. The twin goddesses created the bodies of heavens, creating Entair, the embodiments of the world Toril. Toril was lit by the cool radiance of the goddess Selûne, and darkened by the welcoming embrace of the goddess Shar. But no heat yet existed in this place. Shantia begged for warmth, that she might nurture life and living creatures upon her form, and this caused the twin goddess to become divided in intent. The two fought, and from their divine conflict, the deities of war, disease, murder, death, and others were created. Selûne reached beyond the universe to a plane of fire, using pure flame to ignite one of the heavenly bodies so that Shantia would be warmed. Shar became enraged and began to snuff out all light and warmth in the universe. Desperate and greatly weakened, Selûne tore the divine essence of magic from her body and hurled it at her sister, tearing through Shar's form and pulling with it like energy from this dark twin. This energy formed Mistral, the goddess of magic, composed of light and dark magic, but favoring her first mother. Mistral balanced the battle enough to establish an uneasy truce between the sisters. Shar, who remained powerful, nursed a bitter loneliness in the darkness and plotted her revenge. Selûne waxed and waned with the light, but drew strength from her allied daughters and sons, and even interloper deities from other planes. Their bow continues to this day. Sorry, I butchered that book horribly. I could not speak properly there. My apologies. But hopefully that still gets the message across of what was happening. And here we have the training grounds. You can see soldiers fighting. I might take this trial, actually, just for the sake of practice. It can't hurt to practice up. Who are you?
Hello there.
You must be Krael Ironpike, the one I've heard all of the instructors talking about. They're mighty impressed with you, I must say. It's a pleasure to finally meet you, Krael. I'm Ferdinand, the Academy's resident keeper of exotic creatures. I was afraid you wouldn't make it to my little corner before you completed your training here at the Academy. So, have you come here to view the menagerie? Is there something else I can do for you? Really, a menagerie? What do you have here exactly? Well, I have a wide assortment of monsters. Don't worry, they can't hurt you. We've taken every precaution, including powerful spells of binding, to make the menagerie completely safe for both visitors and the creatures inside. Just head on through the door here, whenever you're ready to view the wonders of my little beasties. Oh, fair enough. I'm curious, let's take a peek on what we have for monsters. Ooh, that's creepy. Dire Spire. Though not truly dire creatures, these spiders are nevertheless fearsome to behold, and appear to act with more cunning than their common cousins. Disturbing. Stag Beetle. These creatures are serious pests that greedily devour cultivated crops. Though not carnivorous, they'll still charge any perceived threat with their oversized horn-like mandibles. Now, how did you fit in that door, buddy? You're huge. Umber Hulk. Subterranean monsters that look like a cross between a great ape and a beetle. Umber Hulks leave behind a wake of destruction wherever they go. Hook Horror. Covered in a hard, chitinous exoskeleton, Their forelimbs hooked and bladed, these vicious subterranean predators can be fearsome to behold. I don't doubt it. Ettercap. Although not very intelligent, ettercaps are cunning predators. Like the monstrous spiders they keep as pets, they are skilled hunters and trappers. Very scary. And I'm glad they're in cages. Let's speak to you.